Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning as coronavirus cases increase across the state. Texas seeing one of the biggest jumps in unemployment cases.
And still to come, health experts say that this could be a defining week in the fight against coronavirus, while the president takes a more optimistic tone. I'm Andrew Dimbert in the nation's capital with the latest on the fight against the coronavirus.
And taking a look outside with live cam, got some good rain this weekend, at least at my house. What about this week? We'll check in with Mike.
And good morning. It is Monday, April 6th.
Thanks for being with us this morning, everybody. Did you get some good rain?
Got a lot of good rain, about 4 inches worth.
Wow. Yeah, I got a lot of good rain, too.
Yeah. You add it all up.
And I know last week we were talking about good chances remain for the week.
Yeah, we're going to see a couple more showers. We've got a couple of showers out there right now. By the way, officially just over 2 inches at the airport. That puts us ahead not only obviously for April, going back to March 1st, going back to January 1st.
Oh.
So we're way above where we should be, and we do have some more rain coming. A couple of showers out there right now, and the roads are on the damp side. This is what it looks like on radar as of right now. If my little clicker is going to work for me, here we go. It's a Monday morning, folks. There we go. We got a couple of showers just scattered about the area, so one or two of them, everything kind of sliding off to the east to northeast, and doesn't look like there's anything being picked up in town right now. There may be a couple little sprinkles here and there, and there's also just some hints of fog. Not a lot. New Braunfels down to 3 miles visibility, 5 Kerrville, Bernie, and then a lot out to the west. Rock Springs at 1 3/4 miles, 2 at Eagle Pass. So watch it over the next couple of hours as the fog wants to try and thicken up. We are on the warm side this morning, 63 degrees, unlike over the weekend, especially Saturday. Saturday was a great day. I mean, it was just kind of cold and wet and wonderful. And it got pretty warm yesterday with a little bit of sunshine. No allergens out there except for mold. Mold remains very high, and it's probably going to remain on the high side for the foreseeable future. 70 today at noon, 75 for high temperature. A couple of more showers, maybe a thunderstorm thrown in. I think we may see some potentially strong ones by midweek as far as thunderstorms. Gets very warm. We have another front, not as big as the last one, but another front coming in here later on in the week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now this Monday. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning, Mike, and good morning, everyone at home. Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, so far, no issues out there, but it is still very early. So we are hoping, as usual, for an event-free commute for everyone. I-10, 410, so far, no issues there. Let's move over 35, 410 up on the northeast side. Travel looking pretty good there with no problems there. Highway 90 at Military. Take a look, Highway 90 at Medio Creek, out there by 1604. So far, eastbound, westbound lanes looking pretty good. David and Leslie.
Thank you, Officer Trujillo. Here in Bexar County, our week begins with another death. That's according to Mayor Ron Merber's latest coronavirus briefing yesterday. Here's a breakdown of the latest numbers for you. The most recent death brings our number of those killed by complications related to COVID-19 to 12. The mayor, along with Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolf, announced the number of confirmed cases in the county has risen to 410. That's 26 more than previously reported. We know of those cases, 79 people remain hospitalized, with 47 in intensive care and 28 on ventilators. Another number that's increased locally, that of those recovered, which is now 67. And while that is a bit of good news, the mayor says our battle with COVID-19 isn't ending anytime soon. Well, the mayor did say that the last few weeks of social distancing has helped to flatten the curve. However, as the number of tests ramp up, more of the data is being sent over to UT Health, and he hopes to have a model to show that data sometime later this week. And remember that we have an interactive map on our website where you can click on counties and see their latest numbers of cases. Just head to our website and click on coronavirus on the homepage. And meanwhile, Texas is seeing one of the largest increases in unemployment. According to Wallet Hub, Texas ranked 34 out of 51 for unemployment rates. Governor Greg Abbott has issued certain orders to help speed up the unemployment process, like waiving the 10-day waiting period tied to benefits, along with the work search requirement. If you live in San Antonio or even in the area, you're urged to call Workforce Solutions Alamo. The number's on your screen, 210-224-HELP. Nationwide, more than 1.5 million Americans have now tested for COVID-19. The death toll here in the United States still rising. Over 9,000 Americans have lost their lives. The top health experts are warning that this could be a defining week while the hardest hit states struggle with supply shortages. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is in Washington with the latest on that.
As the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. continues to skyrocket, a warning from top health officials that the worst is yet to come.
The next week is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment. It's going to be our 9/11 moment. It's going to be the hardest moment for many Americans in their entire lives.
But President Trump with a different assessment for Americans, tempering the grim forecast with a more optimistic outlook on the outbreak.
But we see light at the end of the tunnel. Things are happening.
It's a message at odds with lead medical professionals working to flatten the coronavirus curve.
It seems to be inherently contradictory, but it really isn't. What you're hearing about potential light at the end of the tunnel doesn't take away from the fact that tomorrow, the next day, it's going to look really bad.
New York, the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak, is still struggling for supplies. But a bit of good news over the weekend. The state had its first daily drop in the number of coronavirus deaths.
I guarantee the people of this state that as long as I'm governor of this state, we won't lose a life if we can prevent it.
Still, struggles continue for hospitals across the country, stressed and stretched to new limits on the front lines. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer says Detroit is seeing a surge and facilities are in for a fight.
We know that we've got hospitals that are already at capacity. We don't have enough personal protection equipment.
And in Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards says his state might not even have enough ventilators or hospital beds to last another week. And President Trump insisting over the weekend that more masks and ventilators are on the way. Also saying by Tuesday, the federal government will have deployed 3,000 military and medical professionals to some of the hardest hit states. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
436 and I can't see it.
63 degrees.
Eyes are not functioning.
It's a Monday and it's early. Still ahead as many, at least it's not 71. 70, sorry. Still ahead as many continue to stock up at the grocery store. What you can do to make sure the food you already have in your pantry stays fresh.
And next, as COVID continues to cause problems around the world, the death rate in Italy is finally going down.
And LiveCam giving us a look outside. Hard to believe Easter Sunday's coming up in just a few days. So happy to have you with us.
In your morning headlines, Italy has recorded its lowest death rate in a 24-hour period. The country's civil protection ministry says there are also fewer patients in critical condition within hospitals' intensive care units. The streets of Italy still remain empty as the country is on lockdown until at least April 13th. A total of nearly 16,000 people have died of COVID-19 in Italy. More than 21,000 people have already recovered from the coronavirus.
Well, New York is the state hit hardest by the coronavirus pandemic, and that's led American Airlines to drastically cut travel to New York City. The carrier is currently operating only 13 daily flights into the metro area airports. American Airlines Senior VP of Operations says the demand for flights to New York is rapidly evaporating. This announcement comes one day after United also cut flights to New York. Other airlines, including JetBlue and Spirit, previously suspended service.
A fire at a Florida airport destroyed thousands of rental cars. The fire started with just 20 vehicles in a grassy area at Southwest Florida International Airport in Fort Myers this weekend. Then the blaze spread to 15 acres and burned 3,500 cars. It took more than 18 hours to put those flames out. The local sheriff's office says it had to make 80 airdrops. No injuries reported. The fire now under investigation.
Wow, that's a lot of fire.
That's a lot of cars going.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Bummer.
They all got gas in them, maybe, probably.
Some explosions.
That's just even, ooh.
It's a mess.
Mess. 441, 63 degrees.
Netflix's new popular docuseries Tiger King is the streaming service's most watched show. And if you've already watched it, and we have some good news, there may be a bonus episode coming soon.
And coming up next, what you need to know when it comes to cleaning your car to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back. It is now 4:44. As the country braces for what could be the worst week yet in the pandemic, people are stocking up at the grocery store. In today's GMA First Look, ABC's Becky Worley has details on how to make sure the food in your house lasts longer.
In this morning's GMA First Look, extending the shelf life of your groceries.
All the different dates by those are all related to the food's quality and not its safety.
Experts like Consumer Reports' Amy Keating say now is the time to utilize our freezers. Keating helps us break down a few popular items. First up, eggs.
The date on the egg carton is not a live and die date. You don't need to throw the eggs out if it's past that date.
Keating says eggs will last in your fridge for 3 to 5 weeks after you purchase them. But if you aren't going to finish that carton in time, you can beat and freeze them in an airtight container for about a year. And what about those expiration and best by dates? When do we need to listen to them, and when is there some wiggle room? We'll have the answers you need and a great app to help you. It's coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland.
As you keep hearing about it, washing your hands often and disinfecting surfaces are important as we try to avoid the coronavirus.
But what about cleaning your car? 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz says cleaning your vehicle goes beyond just the steering wheel.
Just think about all the surfaces you touch on an average trip. Doors to AC knobs, they need cleaning. Cars' interiors include several different materials, so Consumer Reports auto editor says it's important to use the right products.
You definitely want to stay away from using bleach or hydrogen peroxide inside your car. These products can easily do damage to your car's upholstery.
The CDC says alcohol solutions with at least 70% alcohol should kill coronavirus. So nearly every interior surface can be cleaned with isopropyl alcohol-based cleaners that you use in the house. So where do you start? Well, first and probably obvious, the steering wheel, potentially germy because your hands are on it so much. But there are other hot spots: door handles, inside and out, the shifter, windows, all control buttons, wiper and turn signals, armrests, grab handles, and seat adjusters.
And if your car has a touchscreen, you don't want to use anything that has ammonia in it as an ingredient. It can strip off the anti-glare and anti-fingerprint coatings on the screen.
If you're low on cleaning supplies, soap and water are a safe bet for most surfaces.
Wipe down leather surfaces gently with a microfiber cloth. Rubbing too vigorously could remove the color from the dye in the leather.
For fabric upholstery, don't use too much water or you could wind up with moldy or musty smelling cushions. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Speaking of cars, there's a few on the road right now, not too many.
Well, on my way to work, I see several cars, and I'm like, I wonder where they're going at 3:30 in the morning. But people have places to go, so how's it looking out there?
They do have places to go, and if you think about it just for a second, I mean, think about all these support industries that are necessary just to keep the basics going. You have water, you have electricity, garbage pickup, you have maintenance, so there's still a fair amount of people out there on the roadways, but nowhere near what we normally have when school is in session and everyone is working out of their office instead of from home. So right now things look pretty good. Moving over to TransGuide right now, we can show you that things aren't too bad out there. No? Here we go. Let's switch it this way. There we go. Out there on TransGuide I-10. This is a lower level right there by Colorado. You can see no issues there. Moving over here, 10 in Callahan. Eastbound, westbound lanes. Very, very dark out there. It looks like we have a stretch of highway where the lights are not working. And then 2 and almost north and southbound lanes, no issues at all. 151 at 410. You can see traffic moving along fairly well in both directions and no problems there. Highway 90 at Medio Creek. This is I-10 410. You can see there some of the ramps there on the interchange looking pretty good. All in all, not a bad time if you're one of those that does have to venture out. Just make sure you take your patience with you.
It looks so empty right there on that one.
It does. It is.
Kind of eerie looking, isn't it?
Empty. Time to go home.
Eerie.
Kind of eerie. It's the color and then the no traffic and
And now it's kind of, I was so glad when we're past all of this and we're talking about traffic and bumper to bumper again and everybody going to work and telling people to calm down.
But you got to be patient until then. So
Yes.
I know a lot of
We
folks
gotta
are
get
getting a little buggy inside, my family included, but just kind of just be patient.
We just ordered 2 puzzles, and we're going to start with one and put it on our kitchen table, and everybody can do it at their own pace when they want to, and we'll see how it ends up.
My wife has always been a big fan with some of her friends from years ago, but the game Mahjong.
Oh yeah.
Started that, so.
We'll do just about anything now.
So, yeah, anyway. Hey, or just stop and smell the flowers and look at the pretty pictures. And I love this arrangement, the wildflowers and the palms from Palm Sunday. I hope you had a very pleasant day yesterday. And, of course, a little bit different with Palm Sunday and Good Friday and Easter coming up, but just to celebrate them with your family. And we've got, well, not a bad view out there right now. A little bit of rain, especially up in portions of the hill country. Nothing is showing up here in town. A couple little scattered sprinkles out and toward the hill country, and obviously more of it further up to the north. And we are going to see a few scattered showers around today, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. They're possible. Mild temperatures, obviously, compared to what we had on Saturday, which was just fantastic, staying in the mid-50s basically all day long, was just wonderful. Humidity has definitely come back up, and humidity is going to be sticking around in through and going up not only today but also the next couple of days, and that's going to continue to feed. First of all, maybe some fog in the morning. We have a little bit of fog around the area this morning, and then also we've got we're going to see a little bit of patchy fog tomorrow morning. Here's a computer model, and just a few scattered showers here and there throughout the rest of today, going into tonight, and pretty much the same thing tomorrow as well. Maybe even a little bit lesser chance for a few showers around there, and a couple of peaks of sunshine are going to be thrown in on top of that. However, you look down to the southwest, we still have this same flow coming in here off the Pacific Ocean. So that's why we had, even though the front moved through late on Friday or during the day Friday into Saturday and kept those clouds around, because we've got that sort of overrunning situation, and that is not going to be changing. And as a matter of fact, it will continue to throw some, good moisture in our direction, and that's going to help out with more rain, especially by midweek. We've got more showers and thunderstorms around here by Wednesday, and the atmosphere is kind of setting up right now to be a little bit on the volatile side, so we could see some stronger storms as it looks right now later in the day on Wednesday. Today, 70 at noon, couple of showers around the area. I think basically cloudy skies with a few breaks in the clouds here and there. It was nice to see a little bit of sunshine. We took a walk along the river yesterday, and it was just nice and really warmed up quickly once that sun kind of just peeked through those clouds every once in a while. 75 for a high temperature today, mostly cloudy skies, and again, a couple of showers here and there. Now we go into tomorrow, and it's really going to start to warm up. Very mild start, up to 85 degrees in the afternoon. Again, a couple of showers. You can't completely rule it out. The better chance of rain, though, is going to be on Wednesday. We're going to be in the upper 80s. And like I said, there are some numbers that have the atmosphere a little bit on the volatile side, if you will, and so could see a couple of stronger storms on Wednesday. Thursday, still a few showers, a couple of storms around here, and then we do have another front moving on through. It won't be as potent as the last one, but it's going to knock temperatures down maybe a good 10 degrees or so, low 70s by Friday and Saturday, mid 70s on Easter Sunday.
Well, we're kind of spoiled, aren't we?
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm liking these fronts every once in a while, too.
Me too. Thank you, Mike.
4:52, 63 degrees.
Coming up next, the most watched show on Netflix right now could be getting a bonus episode pretty soon. We'll tell you when you can expect it.
And let's check some lottery numbers for you from the weekend. Pick 3, 8, 5, 4. Fireball is 5, and your daily 4, 7, 1, 4, 6. Fireball of 1.
And your cash 5 numbers are 11, 16, 20, 21, 32. Lotto numbers are 4, 5, 15, 20, 43, and 54. And Powerball from Saturday, 8, 31, 39, 40, 43. 4 is the Powerball, power play of 3.
It's not every day that a zookeeper went to prison for murder for hire.
If you're wondering how you're going to pass the time in home quarantine when you're done watching Tiger King, here's some good news. Jeff Lowe, the current owner of Joe Exotic's Oklahoma Zoo, says Netflix is shooting an additional episode of the true crime docuseries, which he says will drop this week. So far, there's no official confirmation of that from Netflix, but they definitely have a hit on their hands with Tiger King. It's currently their most watched show in the U.S.
'Cause I've never worn white, but I wanna get it right.
Katy Perry's baby sex reveal was a photo of pink pie in the face of her fiancé, Orlando Bloom, posted on Perry's Instagram. If that's not an obvious enough clue, Perry captioned the pic, "It's a girl. She's due this summer." The 4 stars of the Conners, Sarah Gilbert, John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf, and Lacey Goranson, have reportedly locked in deals for a 3rd season of the hit sitcom. The season 2 finale airs next week. And Paul Rudd's 51 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
What?
I got nothing.
You had nothing?
457 is 63 degrees. That's all I got.
You had that look. Still ahead in our next half hour, the federal government is deploying 1,000 medical experts to the hardest hit areas of the nation as much needed supplies for coronavirus arrive today.
Plus, a lot of teachers have turned to the video conferencing app Zoom to connect with their students, but several school districts are now banning the app. We'll tell you why.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this hour, much-needed protective gear is arriving in the U.S. on 3 planes in an effort to get supplies to medical workers and coronavirus patients.
If you're a frequent rider on Via Metropolitan Transit, major route changes start today.
And a look outside with, live
with ooh? With ooh?
Yeah, it was an ooh. There you go. Look at that camera. Is that not an ooh?
It's an ooh and an ah.
That's an ah. Good morning. It is Monday, April 6th.
Thanks for being with us this morning, everybody. It looks like we might have a little bit of fog to deal with today, Mr. Osterhage.
Yeah, there are a couple of patches, and get ready for it because it'll be occurring again tomorrow. And obviously, it's because we got so much moisture in the atmosphere and so much in the ground after all that beautiful rain that we had over the weekend. Temperatures are on the warm side of things. We are in the low to mid 60s and even a couple of 50s out there. The humidity has definitely come back up thanks to the wind flow coming off the Gulf of Mexico, as well as that moisture in the from the ground, which is kind of trying to evaporate just a little bit. And with no wind out there, that's what's giving us that little bit of fog. It's not much, but just little bits here and there. So watch around, especially low-lying areas. And we do have a couple of more showers that are showing up on radar as of right now. Most of it obviously is in the hill country, but a couple of these showers are now moving into the northeastern Medina County, sliding up into northwestern Bexar County, and so there may be 1 or 2 little sprinkly showers around here, even a little bit of mist associated. If there's some fog, obviously you might see some of that mist. Visibility is not bad. 4 miles at Randolph, and you go out to the west, and then it's a little bit thicker fog. Rock Springs and Eagle Pass, 1.5 miles, 1.75 miles respectively, and that's pretty much about it. But obviously it's a situation we've got to watch over the next couple of hours. And temperatures are almost 10 degrees above normal, about say 7 to 10 degrees above normal on average around here. And mold, boy, we got a lot of it. At least the rain washed a lot of the other allergens out of the atmosphere, but mold is high, and it's probably going to remain very high throughout the rest of the week. So patchy fog, a couple of showers this morning, and a few showers later on today, maybe a thunderstorm, mid 70s. So overall not bad, but it's going to be a humid day today. That's definitely the situation. And then much warmer tomorrow. As a matter of fact, mid to upper 80s the next couple of days, a couple of showers around here, and a few thunderstorms. Some could be on the stronger side once we get into the middle portion of the week, and some leftover showers after that to close out the week. We have another front moving through here. It's not as strong as the one that came through last week, but it'll still knock temperatures down a good maybe 10 degrees going in toward the weekend. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Anything big going on?
Well, we are getting reports of a minor accident. That's going to be if you're eastbound on I-10 and taking that 37 south exit. That's where you're getting reports of a minor accident. But as we look through different TransGuide cameras in other places of the city, so far, no issues for other parts. I-10 there at 410 so far, things looking pretty good over on the east side. Then 221 and Grayson north and southbound lanes so far, no issues there. We take a look at I-10 and Woodlawn. You see the lower level, east and westbound lanes. So far, no problems this morning. David?
Thank you, sir. If you are a frequent Via rider, this one's for you. Major route changes are coming to Via buses this morning. Via officials say riders should only make essential trips during this time, and riders are being asked to maintain adequate space aboard the bus whenever possible. No fares will be collected through April, and all routes will be on Saturday schedules during the week. We've got all those specific information, the details for you on our website. Just go to KSAT.com.
Well, this afternoon, Governor Greg Abbott is set to give an update on the coronavirus pandemic in Texas from Austin. So far, the Department of State Health Services is reporting more than 6,800 cases and 127 deaths across the state. Harris County and Dallas County have cases well over 1,000. We've had several nearby counties report updated numbers, including Hays County, which recently added 4 more cases. State Health Services is also investigating a possible first case in Frio County.
And state troopers are now stopping and screening travelers entering Southeast Texas from Louisiana. Governor Greg Abbott's recent executive order says Louisiana travelers driving into Texas must undergo a 14-day self-quarantine. Officials at the Department of Public Safety say drivers are now required to complete a travel form and show where they will be isolated.
Stock markets around the world and overnight futures in the United States have been up. That's amid hopes of a slowdown in the number of new coronavirus cases and deaths. But it's not all good news. Oil prices are dropping again after negotiations between Saudi Arabia and Russia to cut production were delayed. The two countries have been at a price war for the past few weeks. Meanwhile, the federal government is deploying 1,000 medical experts to New York.
Thousands of much-needed supplies are arriving there today. ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi has the details from one of the hardest-hit areas of the country.
This morning, desperately needed protective gear is arriving in the U.S. on 3 planes, part of an effort by the White House and other countries called Project Airbridge. On board, nearly 3 million N95 masks and surgical masks, more than 11 million gloves, along with gowns and other supplies. New York's governor says the state is in grave need of equipment despite reinforcements from around the world.
I understand what they're dealing with. I understand they're being asked to do the impossible.
Near Los Angeles, Darren Loyson, an ER nurse, is finally home, but is still on oxygen after being hospitalized with the virus for 9 days.
I remember one night just laying in bed going, man, I felt like I can actually die, and I could barely breathe, and I didn't want to be on a ventilator. I refused the ventilator twice.
I quit my job today.
Imaris Vera joins a list of healthcare workers who've quit, calling the risk too great. Vera says she walked away from her job in Chicago to protect her family.
I'd rather be without pay for a couple weeks and have to look for another job than possibly lose my life or my family members.
Near Orlando, Florida, nurse Kyle McBride has been living separately from his wife and 4 kids for weeks already.
We all need to lock arms and join as a community and be united.
And in Minnesota, Leona Hernandez is leaving her husband and 3 young children for 2 months to travel to New York to help hospital workers there.
We talked about, should I just stay here and wait until the need is greater in Minnesota? But one thing that I think pushed me over the edge is the fact that the need is so great in New York.
We call her she's the superhero. And they're like, she's not a real superhero, Dad. And I'm like, yes, she is. She's a super nurse.
Mona Kozar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
The U.S. Olympic Committee is donating food that won't be heading to Tokyo now that the 2020 Games have been postponed. 32 pallets of food were supposed to travel with the team. Now $125,000 worth of meals, snacks, and drinks will go to a food bank in Colorado Springs. The food bank says with millions losing jobs in the pandemic, their facility and food banks everywhere are trying to stock up to help.
As always, we do have more coronavirus coverage on our website, which includes grocery store policy changes, how to make your own mask, and much more. Just go to KSAT.com.
It is now 5:07, 63 degrees.
Still ahead, Apple has now sourced over 20 million masks for healthcare workers, and it is still pushing to do more.
And some of the top airlines are giving customers more options for rebooking flights because of the coronavirus.
And live cam once again giving us a look outside. Still rain chances in the forecast, which we need. But another cool down coming our way. Is it possible? Mike says yes. Welcome back. It is now 11 minutes after 5. In your morning consumer headlines, United and Delta Airlines are giving customers more flexibility, I should say, for rebooking flights, of course, because of the pandemic. United says customers can now use travel credits within a 2-year window. They usually only have 1 year to do so. And Delta is making a similar move. Travelers can change to other flights within a 2-year span. But Delta's offer is for April and May flights that were booked before April 3rd.
A Ford spokesman says the company made more than 1 million face shields during this past week and is now making a face shield every 10 seconds at its facility outside of Detroit. Right now, there are 120 workers helping at that facility. The spokesman says Ford has shipped and delivered more than 750,000 face shields to hospitals and first responders in more than 16 states. 120,000 face shields went to New York alone.
And the push by people across the country to stock up as much as they can so they can hunker down, it's causing a new kind of shortage. Most freezer chests and deep freezers are either sold out or on back order. Stores like Best Buy and Home Depot are completely out. Could be days or weeks before more supply is available.
Have you cleaned out your freezer yet? When people stock it up and putting all this stuff in their freezer? Have you ever looked through your freezer?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much just keep the stuff we need, so we don't really, I have room in mine.
There's stuff in the back of that freezer been there for several years.
No, we kind of clean ours out.
Where'd that come from? And what is it?
And maybe it's time to clean out your freezer.
I don't have that problem. 63 degrees.
Still ahead, several more movies are getting release dates pushed back. This time, Disney and Marvel are delaying their films.
And next, as teachers try to find ways to teach students online, school districts are now banning the video conferencing app Zoom over security concerns.
I am totally blind. And Non-24 can make me show up too early or too late, or make me feel like I'm not really there. Talk to your doctor and call 844-234-2424.
Dad, we need to talk about something important.
You don't need to go anywhere, Dad. This is your home.
The best home to be in is your own. Home Instead offers personalized in-home services for your loved ones. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Welcome back. 16 minutes after 5 o'clock. Several school districts have banned the video conferencing app Zoom over security concerns. ABC's Kenneth Boughton has the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, banning Zoom. New York City is the latest school district to forbid teachers from using the popular video conferencing app. The head of the school system is blaming security problems, including so-called Zoom bombing, where people hijack meetings. Many teachers have been using Zoom for remote learning. Meantime, Microsoft has simplified its Skype video call service. You no longer need to create an account or download software. Users can get unlimited Skype meetings by generating a link with just one click, then sharing it with participants, similar to Zoom. And Apple CEO Tim Cook says his company has produced more than 20 million masks to donate to healthcare workers worldwide, and more are on the way. Cook says Apple is also making face shields and plans to donate 1 million per week starting this week. So many frontline healthcare workers still need that vital equipment to save lives and protect themselves. Those are your Tech Bites.
David, what do you say we check on the roadways?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, I know we had one accident. Is it still working, Marcus?
Just that one minor accident, southbound 37, just south of eastbound Highway 90, but really that's the only thing we have out there. So take a look at some other areas. I-10 at La Cantera looking pretty good all the way out to I-10 at Hoyerman Road. So we look at 21 at Winding Way. It does look just a little bit busier compared to what it did earlier. However, even this is not the normal traffic flow that we usually see. Now I-10, 410 so far looking pretty good, and 410 at Fredericksburg Road, no issues there. And take a look at 21 at Olmos. You can see you have more than enough room out there. Just make sure you focus on your driving. Both hands on the wheel, pay attention. Put away those distractions and make sure you buckle up.
Is that fog going to hang around all day or all throughout the morning commute?
Throughout the morning, just a little bit here and there. It's not real thick. So, and most of the roads, we didn't have a lot of rain yesterday afternoon. I know there was just a little bit and some sunshine out there, which, boy, it got hot in the afternoon if you had some of that sunshine. But that's kind of dried things out a little bit as far as the roads are concerned. Still some more rain, though. So
I like what's behind you.
I know. Oh, look at the beautiful picture of those blue bonnets and the sunset out there. Absolutely gorgeous. Boy, and you know these blue bonnets and all the wildflowers and everything is just, and the grass is going to be growing by leaps and bounds with all that rain that we got. More than 2 inches officially out there at the airport on Saturday. And again, that's puts us above normal all the way back to the first of the year. Visibility is not bad around the area. 4 miles in New Braunfels, 5 Kerrville, Bernie. A little thicker fog out there, Rock Springs and Eagle Pass. We'll have to watch it as far as that thickening up over the next couple of hours. But again, it's not a widespread fog event. We do have a few showers right now. Most of it obviously is in portions of the hill country. We've got these few little sprinkles that are showing up on the northwest side of Bexar County. Nothing else in and around town, and even a moderate shower out there in northwest portions of the hill country. And we'll keep a couple of showers around later on today. 63 in town. We are on the above normal side. Tarpley 62, and well, there's only 150 showing up. Lost Maples at 59 right now, and there's a lot of humidity out there as well, and that's going to be sticking around. Boy, the moisture sure has pumped on back in here, so we're getting it obviously from the Gulf of Mexico as well as the moisture in the ground that's trying to evaporate, and dew points are going to continue to go up with this flow coming in here off the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll be seeing mid to upper 60s, pardon me, for dew points later on today, going into tomorrow as well. And that's just going to help out with a few scattered showers popping up, and then especially by Wednesday with this very high humidity and things in the atmosphere are going to start to get a little more unstable and kind of volatile. So we could see some potentially stronger storms around here later in the day on Wednesday, although rain chances aren't great, but if something does pop up, it's going to be, could be, like I said, on the strong side. Throughout the rest of the morning, a few scattered showers hanging around here. That's going to be the situation into the afternoon as well. And, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of them around this evening, but it's not going to be a big deal as far as rain is concerned today. Now, the overall pattern, as you can see, those clouds are coming in here out of the southwest, and it's this moisture feed that continues to stream in from the Pacific Ocean, because we've got a big low out there to the west of us and pretty much a ridge off to the east, and that keeps us in this southwesterly flow aloft in the atmosphere. So that keeps a lot of clouds around here. There is going to be, now there's another low up north of the Great Lakes, and by Thursday late in the day there is going to be a bit of a front that's going to slide on through here, and that's going to actually knock temperatures down. So we're going to be warming up the next couple of days, getting in the mid to upper 80s, and by Friday and the weekend this little bit of a front is going to be enough to knock temperatures down about 10 degrees. We'll still have plenty of clouds hanging on in here, but at least it'll be a bit more pleasant. And enjoy these fronts now, because you know they don't never come through during the summertime. 70 degrees today at noon. Shouldn't say never come through, but it's very, very rare for them in the summertime. 70 at noon. A couple of showers scattered about the area, and the same thing later on today. Mostly cloudy, a couple of showers, perhaps a clap of thunder or two. 75 for a high temperature, which is actually just a little bit below the respected normal for today. 85 then tomorrow, so we really start to warm up. You can't rule out a shower. It's not very likely. I think a better shot at some stronger storms is going to be on Wednesday, although rain chances are still just about, say, 40%. Same thing on Thursday. We'll have a little bit better chance for showers and thunderstorms, and then they become fewer and further between, and that front moves on through, so we go from 80s down to low 70s Friday and Saturday. And Easter right now is shaping up not bad.
So moms and dads can still hide some Easter eggs on Easter Sunday.
I think so.
After they have their in-house morning service.
Right. Exactly.
Things are strange, aren't they?
It really is. But we're going to make it through.
We are. 522, 63 degrees.
Disney and Marvel are pushing back theatrical releases of a few of the anticipated Hollywood blockbusters. Details coming up in your morning spotlight.
And some lottery numbers from the weekend. Pick 3, 854. Fireball is 5. And Daily 4, 7146. Fireball 1.
And your Cash 5 numbers 11, 16, 20, 21, 32. Lotto numbers 4, 5, 15, 20, 43, 54. Powerball from Saturday 8, 31, 39, 40, 43. 4 was the Powerball with a power play of 3. Welcome back. It's 5:26 just about. Today in entertainment news, some big movies get new release dates. A new musical holds a virtual opening night, and an anthem for staying clean in quarantine.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Yet here I stand. Proof that there is a place for people like us.
Disney has found a place for Mulan. The live-action adventure, originally scheduled to hit theaters in March, is now set to debut July 24th. That bumps Jungle Cruise, which was supposed to open that weekend, back a full year to July 30th, 2021. Meanwhile, Black Widow's launch moves from May 1st to November 6th. And Artemis Fowl will skip theaters and debut instead on the streaming service Disney+. No release date yet.
I like your eyes, and damn it, it's alarming.
A new musical is throwing a virtual opening night, and you're invited. The website Streaming Musicals is debuting an adaptation of the classic Jane Austen novel Pride and Prejudice. And before it starts charging for views, it's holding a free showing on opening night this Friday, April 10th. Info at streamingmusicals.com and prideandprejudicepremiere.com.
But I can't stop touching my face. There's toilet paper stashed all over the place.
When a writer and filmmaker is married to a musician, you get a self-isolation anthem. Can't Stop Touching My Face by Eric Troyer and Kiki Buckley tries to put a catchy beat to the frustrations of COVID-19 quarantine. We'll see whether it goes viral. Sheltering in place in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're all connected, even though we're socially distant.
Got to come up with something. That's great stuff. 527, 62 degrees.
Still ahead in the next half hour, the U.S. braces for a rough week as the novel coronavirus has already claimed nearly 10,000 lives.
Plus, as many Americans wait for the first government relief checks to show up in direct deposit accounts, many business owners are frustrated with the payroll protection plan.
Plus, the latest on an East Side church devastated after fire displaced 11 people from their recovery house campus.
And good morning to you. It is 5:30. It is a Monday.
It is a Monday, everybody. So glad to have you with us on this Monday morning. It was great to see all that rain on Saturday, and we have more in the forecast today.
A lot of rain, some places.
Yep.
Oh, there you are. I don't know. Where are you supposed to be?
Well, I thought we were doing a 4-shot, so anyway, we will do this instead. Okay, we'll come over here, and yeah, we picked up just over 2 inches of rain out there at the airport. Some folks picked up a whole lot more than that on Saturday. It was wonderful and nice and cool, and just a great day. And we do have more rain coming this week. Now, there are a few showers out there as of right now. Not a lot, basically northern, northwestern portion of our viewing area. A couple of them are showing up in and around Bexar County, maybe a few sprinkles out there, and that's pretty much about it. There's a little bit of fog as well. It's not overly thick. Going out to Rock Springs and Eagle Pass, those are some of the lowest visibilities, but still, it's not pea soup. Obviously, got to keep watching that over the next couple of hours. We dropped down 1 degree in the past hour, 62 right now out there at the airport, but temperatures are still about anywhere from 5, almost 10 degrees above their respective normals. A ton of mold out there. At least the rain washed everything else out of the atmosphere, but mold is going to be sticking around because we do have more rain over the next few days. 70 today at noon, 75 for a high temperature. A couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two thrown on in here. We are going to be warming up, though, at about 10 to that number, mid-80s tomorrow, upper 80s on Wednesday, and that's going to be a better chance for potentially some stronger thunderstorms on Wednesday. Got another cold front, not like the one, not as strong as the one last week, but still another cold front's moving through late in the week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Well, thank you, Mike. And right now, folks, as we take a look at the roadways, things look pretty good this morning. Very, very light traffic, and so far, no incidents. We had one eastbound Highway 90 exiting for southbound 37. That one's cleared up, and 281 and almost, you can see north and southbound lanes. So far, no issues there. Just remember, put away those distractions once you head out, and once you leave your vehicle, remember to keep that distance from everyone around you. Leslie?
Thank you, Marcus. Late breaking news. San Antonio police say a couple's dispute has become a family problem. They've arrested another relative after a shooting this morning. Katrina Weber is live where all of it happened, which is at an apartment complex in the 1300 block of Rigsby. Now, Katrina, it looks like police still have a pretty active investigation, so tell us more about what's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. We still have police working inside this gated apartment complex. That's back in the parking lot where it happened. We also have a vehicle out here that belongs to the man who was shot, according to police. This is where he left his car when he showed up earlier this morning. I want to give you a look at the video. This happened around 4 o'clock this morning. Police got a call here for someone who had been shot. They found a 30-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds in his arm and leg. They say that he showed up here at these apartments, got into some sort of dispute with his girlfriend out in the parking lot. And they say at some point, one of her relatives then came outside with a gun and shot that man. Now, they have a 50-year-old woman in custody. They say she is a suspect in this case. Police say they found a second gun here, and they're not exactly sure who that gun belongs to. They're investigating whether the suspect the victim may have brought it with him. And so that is where they are now. They are talking to several people here. As police put it, they say they have one person under arrest right now. So again, they are still conducting the investigation, talking to other people who were here. And we just had a tow truck arrive here, and they are looks like about to tow away the car that they say belongs to the victim. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. The novel coronavirus has already claimed nearly 10,000 lives, and U.S. officials say this will be an especially rough week.
But as CNN's John Lawrence reports, they also hope the outbreak may ease shortly afterward.
President Trump says the U.S. is making progress in the war against the COVID-19 pandemic.
We're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully in the not too distant future we'll be very proud of the job we all did.
The number of known cases in the U.S. is doubling about every 5 days, according to Johns Hopkins University, with New York being the state hit the hardest so far.
The number of deaths over the past few days has been dropping for the first time. What is the significance of that? It's too early to tell.
U.S. health officials say the country doesn't have control of the disease yet, and that the next 2 weeks are crucial in possibly flattening the curve.
What you're hearing about potential light at the end of the tunnel doesn't take away from the fact that tomorrow, the next day, it's going to look really bad. So we've got to make sure we realize we're always talking about a 2.5 week lag.
Dr. Fauci also says it's important to get the virus under control globally, or it could become a seasonal problem, and that the development of a vaccine would help the U.S. be better prepared in case of a resurgence.
Can never be happy when so many people are dying, but we're going to be very proud of the job we did to keep the death down to an absolute minimum.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A third passenger from the Coral Princess cruise ship is now dead. The Miami-Dade mayor's office says the person died at a hospital. 2 other people died before the ship even docked. Responders took 14 people from the ship to hospitals over the weekend. At least a dozen people on the Coral Princess tested positive for coronavirus. Others had symptoms of COVID-19.
Well, former Vice President Joe Biden is suggesting the Democratic National Convention may have to be altered if the coronavirus is still an issue. The convention has already been pushed back from July to August, but Biden says other changes may be necessary.
Well, we're going to have to do a convention, may have to do a virtual convention. I think we should be thinking about that right now. The idea of holding a convention is going to be necessary, but we may not be able to put 10, 20, 30,000 people in one place, and that's very possible.
The comments from the party's frontrunner for the nomination come a day after the Democratic National Committee announced its decision to postpone. Biden currently holds a sizable delegate lead over Senator Bernie Sanders.
An East Side church devastated after a fire displaced 8 of their women and 3 children from their Recovery House campus. The sold-out Believers Christian Fellowship has been serving women battling drug addiction, abuse, homelessness, and other hard times. Sadly, church officials say the home caught on fire after one of the children accidentally caused the fire from playing with something flammable in the backyard. Right now, church officials are housing the women in a different location that is not suited for living. As they hope to rebuild, they continue their mission of moving forward with uplifting the women during this hard time.
We need to cut the legs off of fear and let's grow some legs on our faith. And we can stand on that because we have an awesome foundation, and that's the blood of Jesus Christ.
The women and children didn't just lose their home. They lost essential items like clothes, food, toiletries, and a lot more. If you would like to help in their recovery efforts, especially during this pandemic, all you have to do is visit the store on their website at ksat.com for more info.
Your time now is 5:38, and it is 62 degrees outside.
Still coming up, how Disney is making sure annual pass holders don't have to pay for the time its theme parks are shut down.
And up next, the latest information on government stimulus money and when people and businesses can expect to get it.
And back outside with live cam, a little fog this morning, little rain possible today, and then warmer temperatures and more rain as the week goes on.
And then cooler temperatures.
Mike's got all that for you coming up.
It is now 5:41. Now to the millions of Americans, including small business owners, in need of a financial lifeline. The first government relief checks are expected to show up in direct deposit accounts within 2 weeks.
Some frustrated business owners are complaining about the payroll protection plan, calling the application process a, quote, hot mess. Here's ABC's Clayton Sandell.
With the economy on life support, the big question about when government stimulus money starts flowing to Americans and businesses is complicated.
I'm pleased to report that within 2 weeks, the first payments will be direct deposit into taxpayers' account.
But it's not that simple. 80 million eligible Americans who haven't signed up for IRS direct deposit still have to wait for a check in the mail. That could take several months.
Supposedly, they're sending us $1,200 from the federal government, which will not pay my rent.
For some small businesses,
basically what we have is a hot mess.
Signing up for the government's payroll protection program to keep them afloat has been equally frustrating.
And applying for those programs has been kind of like boarding an airplane that's still being built, but it's taken off.
Getting the economy flying again may depend on testing as many people as possible so they can be cleared to go back to work. But states like California are still dealing with a testing backlog. 13,000 people still waiting on results.
I think you see the return to normalcy when we have an approved rapid testing program that can be brought to scale.
Now, as for setting up direct deposit, an IRS website is likely weeks away, but now TurboTax is online with a new site. They say if you sign up there, you should be able to get your stimulus money much faster. Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Denver.
5:43, 62 degrees.
Up next, how the pandemic is changing the way people get their hair cut and other beauty treatments. The stay-home orders around the country have inadvertently started a new beauty trend. Men and women who depend on salons for beauty treatments are now having to think outside the box and actually opening a box.
Ursula Perry shows us how anti-aging efforts are now more than ever a mail-order business.
Tina Zillman's 4 skin rejuvenation clinics may be shut down during the quarantine orders, but she's not out of business. In fact, business at her 6,000 square foot warehouse is booming.
And what we've done with estheticians that we deal with nationally is we drop ship for them. So right from their homes, their clients are calling for product. We put it in a box. We sell, we charge them, they charge their client.
She is well aware of the pitfalls, particularly with at-home hair color.
I went dark before. It is not easy. Blonde is much easier than dark hair. It is incredible, but a lot of the Sally's and the RDAs, the distribution centers for hair, have curbside.
And once you get it home, all you new kitchen beauticians might want to check out YouTube tutorials. Zillman says her staff's video blogs are interactive.
And they said, this is reality. We have to face reality. So what do we do? And so they were concocting the product and showing how to do it at home, like microdermabrasion, light skin peel.
One thing you can't easily get at home, however, is Botox injections. For that, Zillman says it's time to go old school.
And, there are creams and lotions out there that will help with that Botox wearing off. So those peptides are really important.
Zillman says there are also hair powders and sprays that are on the market. They're inexpensive and they can get you through the next month. But if you really want to be daring, you can always try the most popular trend in the beauty business right now. Let your hair go completely gray. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Mike's over there going, see, I'm a trendsetter. I've been doing that forever.
What's the big deal? What's wrong with that? I can't, the Botox thing, no, come on. I can't, no. Anyway, Disney is making sure annual pass holders don't have to pay for the time its theme parks are closed. If people paid up front for their passes, now have two options. They can get a refund for the days that the parks are closed, or Disney will extend the expiration date on their passes to make up for the missed period. People who pay monthly won't be charged during the closures, and they'll get refunds for any payments they made after the shutdowns.
John Taylor, the bass player for Duran Duran, says he has made a full recovery from the coronavirus. The 59-year-old Taylor wrote on the band's Facebook page that COVID-19 isn't always a killer, and that we can and we will beat this thing. He described his illness as a turbocharged flu, but that he came out of it feeling okay. He also added he didn't mind the isolation because it gave him the chance to really recover.
And LeBron James won't appear on basketball court in the near future due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, will be on a small screen starting today. The NBA star has a new project called I Promise. It's a documentary series that will air on, what is that? Quibi?
I don't know.
A mobile-only...
Quibi.
Quibi? A mobile...
I hadn't heard of it either.
I had never heard of that. It's a mobile-only streaming platform. The 15 episodes, each lasting about 8 minutes, will focus on the I Promise School James launched 2 years ago in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. James is also the executive producer of the project. Quibi.
Quibi. We learned something new
I'm not
today.
knocking Botox. I just wasn't ready for the needle. No. I just wasn't ready for the needle in the forehead on the TV screen. I was like, because me and needles are not fans. We're not friends. No. Me and needle are.
Okay.
My wife has to hold my hand for a flu shot. You kidding me? I just need it. No.
Okay.
And that was just
I'm sorry that you're so squeamish and that bothered you.
Sorry.
But yeah, you've been setting this trend for gray hair a long time.
Yeah.
Mike, but right now we're going to talk to Marcus, who doesn't have gray hair.
Well, right now, the things still look pretty good. That's because the camera zoomed way out. As we take a look at a couple of TransGuide cameras, 2 to 1 and almost no issues there, and we move on to as it rotates automatically. Eventually? No? Okay. Well, traffic's still light out there, and we expect it to remain as a pleasant commute. Now, so far, Mike, no fog that we can find on TransGuide. Doesn't mean that it's not out there, folks. Just as far as what we can see on the camera so far, the highways still look pretty good.
There's hints of it out there. It's not real thick. The thickest spots are way out to the west. So,
Mr. Trendsetter.
Pardon me?
Mr. Trendsetter.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Anyway, genetics all the way.
Take a look at this picture, and this is the rule. Do what the dog says to do. Bob the dog says Texans stay home, just like me. Good idea. Thank you very much, Bob.
It's a great picture.
That is a very, very cool looking picture. And when you head outside this morning, that's not bad out there. This picture's pretty clear as far as any fog is concerned. 8 miles visibility at the airport. A little bit heading up toward Boerne, New Braunfels, going in toward Kerrville. Nothing too pea soup, though, as far as the fog is concerned. But Rock Springs has dropped down to 1 mile now. It's 2 miles at Eagle Pass. So that's been going down a little bit over there in Rock Springs. We'll have to watch that for the next couple of hours, especially in some of the low-lying areas. Watch out for some of that fog. There's a little bit of rain showing up, basically northern counties and moving off to the north. Nothing in and around town right now. There are a couple of sprinkles on the northwest side. There may be a little bit of mist or drizzle out there, but it's just that's the only thing as of right now. But we will see just a few scattered showers around later on today. Maybe a thunderstorm thrown in. I kind of doubt that, but it's not going to be a huge rain event today. Now, once we get in toward the middle of the week, it's going to be a different situation. Temperatures are in the low 60s, about 5 to 10 degrees above normal. We've got a lot more humidity out there, and that's going to continue to stick around and actually increase throughout the day. So we'll see dew points getting in the mid and upper 60s. You'll definitely notice the humidity, and then going into tomorrow as well. So that's going to feed a couple of scattered showers around here. And Wednesday, humidity is really in place, and in the atmosphere, we get some disturbances moving through here. And it's going to be a little bit on the kind of the very unstable side or the volatile side. So some thunderstorms on Wednesday possibly could get on the strong side. Now, as far as today is concerned, we'll just have, again, some scattered rain around here, mostly cloudy skies. Basically just on the light, maybe moderate side. And that's pretty much going to be the situation into tomorrow. We continue to keep this flow coming in here off the Pacific Ocean. So that's why we keep all the clouds around, basically cloudy skies, and then little disturbances slide on through here. And that's what's keeping us in the rain chances. And actually, there's another front which will move through by later on in the week. It won't be as potent as the last one, but it will knock temperatures down a good 10 degrees or so 70 today at noon. A couple of showers are possible, not very likely today, maybe a 20-30% chance for rain today. And then basically cloudy skies, a couple of peaks of sunshine also thrown on in there, 75 degrees. And again, a shower or two is possible. Same thing tomorrow. Big difference being we're really going to heat up, 85 degrees, upper 80s on Wednesday. And with the humidity around here, that more volatile atmosphere. So showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms could be potentially on the strong side, and then we'll go into Thursday, a leftover shower storm. Friday, that front moves on through here, and it's going to knock temperatures down to the low 70s, low to mid 70s for Friday, and going into the weekend, Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Yeah. Hide your eggs around the house.
We don't really do the egg thing anymore because we don't have any little ones.
Oh.
But we do make a ham and a big old feast, and we're going to do that if I can find one.
make Tony hunt the eggs. Wow.
No.
Keep them occupied. Keep them out of your hair.
That's a job.
54, 62 degrees.
Coming up next, how a Batman fan is creating a much-needed distraction as people are stuck at home for the pandemic.
Coming up here on GMA, we are tracking all the latest on the coronavirus developments, and that includes our hospitals just days away from reaching capacity. This morning, we are taking you inside one of those hospitals here in New York to see what it is really like. Doctors and nurses push to their limit while other cities and states around the country are bracing for a surge in cases. That is all coming up right here on GMA.
People across the country continue to find creative ways to stay entertained during this COVID-19 pandemic. Chris Banner normally entertains at birthday parties and other social occasions, but during this time of social distancing, he's looking to bring a little happiness to as many people as he can. So now he frequently dons his bat suit and hits the road in his replica 1989 Batmobile. He hopes seeing Batman roll down their streets will help people feel like that we can take on this new super villain coronavirus. No. Go Batman. Still ahead in our next hour of Good Morning San Antonio. What is the key when it comes to helping kids become better readers? More on why parents have such an impact on their child's literacy skills.
As of this morning, we know there are at least 410 confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in Bexar County. I'm Max Massey. I'm going to have a full breakdown of those numbers, and we're even going to take a look at the age ranges.
Receiving much needed help amid the coronavirus pandemic, how the federal government stepped in to help those fighting against that disease in New York.
And live cam giving us a look outside. A little bit hazy out there this morning. Mike says we have a good chance of rain in the forecast in the next coming days. And we also have another cool down coming. He has details.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It is Monday. It is April 6th.
Thanks for being with us this morning, everybody. Hopefully you're getting through the stay home, work safe period with your family and finding lots of creative things to do. Saturday, you would have to stay home anyway because it was really a messy day.
It was Friday and Saturday, tons of rain. Yeah. Two wheelbarrows full of rain.
Wow.
Really? I had to dump it twice.
A lot of, widespread 2, 3, 4 inch rain amounts as well. So it was great just to kind of, hunker down.
It was nice.
And be inside for a while. So
I made that my cheat day, don't work out day instead of Sunday because of it.
Yeah, it's great. It's funny. I just read something online and it says, it's okay not to be overly productive while you're at home. Just kind of
take a day.
Be bored for a while too. Mm-hmm. Kind of good. Recharge your batteries. Anyway, no problems out there by the airport right now. The road appears to be fairly dry. Of course, we did have a little bit of sunshine yesterday, which helped to dry the roads out. Now, didn't have a whole lot of rain yesterday. There is a little bit showing up right now, although most of that is almost moved on out of the area. Just a couple of scattered sprinkles here and there. This is some clutter around the radar site there up around New Braunfels. So we had a few little sprinkles moving through town, and that's pretty much about it. Visibility is not bad. In and around the metropolitan area, 5 miles Pleasanton, New Braunfels, Bernie, 4 up toward Kerrville. But the fog does get a little bit thicker out there toward Rock Springs, or at least visibility drops down more out to the west. But that's pretty much about it looking around the area right now. 63 in town, 59 Bernie, 62 in Bulverde. We are anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above normal right now. Mold is sky high. At least the rain washed all the other allergens out of the atmosphere, but mold's going to be staying up there for the next couple of days. Temperatures, we are going to be warming up to about 70 today at noon. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible throughout the day, although not very likely. And then we will continue up to right around 75 degrees for a high temperature today. Again, a couple of showers, mainly on the cloudier side, a couple of peaks of sunshine thrown in as well. We do have, well, first of all, a big heat up, big warm up throughout the next couple of days, some better rain chances and maybe some stronger storms. Then, like Leslie was alluding to, another cold front. Not as strong as the one last week, but still, it'll knock temperatures down. Details coming up in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo, and a lot of barrels out there, but no accidents?
No accidents right now. Now, those are construction zones, and right now, from what we can see on TransGuide, none of these are active right now, but nonetheless, you may see some of those orange and white highway decorations spread out throughout the city. Right now, no problems as we take a look at TransGuide. This is I-10, 410 up on the northwest side, and no problems there. And then I-10 there by Colorado, you can see the lower level eastbound and westbound lanes moving along fairly well. 1604 Braun, only a handful of vehicles out there on the outer loop, but a little bit busy here. 410 at Fredericksburg Road. So just remember, buckle up once you head out. Leslie?
Thanks, Marcus. San Antonio police have arrested a woman who they say used a gun to get in the middle of a couple's dispute. She's accused of shooting a man. It happened at an apartment complex parking lot in the 1300 block of Rigsby Avenue. Katrina Weber joins us live with more on this. What kind of charges does she face, Katrina?
Well, from what police tell us right now, it looks like aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The victim, the man, is in serious condition, according to police, at the hospital after being shot in his arm and leg. Police still working back here behind these gates inside these apartments. These are the Rosemont at Highland Park apartments, and this is where the shooting happened around 4 o'clock this morning. Let me give you a look at what they're doing inside. Let me show you the video. Police have been there in the parking lot where the shooting happened. They say that what this started with was a couple arguing in the parking lot. They say the man showed up here, began arguing with his girlfriend, and at some point a relative of hers came out of the apartment with a gun, shot the man twice. That person, according to police, is the one who is they're considering the suspect. It's a woman in her 50s, but police say they are talking to several other people who were here at the scene. As they put it, they say they have one person under arrest right now. They say they did find a second gun here at the scene, and they're trying to figure out who that belongs to, whether the man who was shot actually brought a gun here as well. And again, they do hope to get some answers from some of those other people who were here. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. As of this morning, Bexar County has 410 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. In a briefing last night, Mayor Ron Nirenberg went over the latest numbers and, more important, public health specifics. Max Massey now joins us live near downtown. So, Max, along with the rise in confirmed cases, we also understand that there's been another death related to COVID-19.
That's right. Mayor Ron Nirenberg also telling us that we have seen an increase in deaths. We now have our 12th death here in Bexar County related to COVID-19. The mayor telling us it was a man in his 60s with pre-existing health conditions. Now, David, you mentioned those 410 confirmed cases here in Bexar County. Let's take a look at how those numbers break down. Of the 410 confirmed, well, 110 are travel related, 137 are close contact, 127 are community transmitted, 36 of them are still under investigation. Now, 67 patients, important to note, they have fully recovered. 79 are currently still hospitalized, 47 are in the ICU, 28 of them are on ventilators. Now, 110 of the confirmed cases are people under the age of 40 years old, and 20 more patients have recovered since Saturday. Now, the mayor also reiterating what the CDC has been saying. If you are out in public, use a face mask or a piece of cloth, cover your mouth, and help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Important to mention that we are in an isolated area, and if we are out and about reporting near anyone else today, we do plan on using this face mask. Also important to note, the CDC says that this face mask or any cloth that you use to cover your face is not a replacement for social distancing. Please do your best to try to stay at least 6 feet away from anyone else. David, Leslie.
Thank you, Max. Later on today, Governor Greg Abbott will be having a press conference about the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Texas. The governor will be joined by the Texas Department of State Health Services and the Texas Division of Emergency Management. The press conference will be on Texas' efforts to combat COVID-19 and is scheduled to happen around 2 o'clock this afternoon at the state capitol in Austin. We will be broadcasting it on our streaming services webpage and here on KSAT 12.
Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott has temporarily waived certain regulations to expand healthcare workforce to help with COVID-19. The waiver allows several healthcare workers who are candidates for licensing to have completed all of their requirements to enter the workforce prior to taking their final exam, although they will have to work under an emergency license and be under supervision. The waiver also provides for emergency licenses to undergo name-based background checks in place of fingerprint checks, while fingerprint checks are unavailable due to the crisis.
Back here at home, VIA making changes to their services to help slow the spread of the virus even more. Beginning today, they will be switching over to their Saturday routes. Riders are being asked to only make essential trips during this time, continuing to observe the Stay Home Work Safe order. VIA will continue to run essential services for those who must travel for work at an exempted business or operation, obtain food or supplies, or help care for others. Riders are being asked to maintain space aboard the bus whenever possible. VIA Trans and VIA Link will continue to operate normally.
Well, Lytle ISD is making changes to its student meals service after officials say family of a staff member was exposed to the virus at his workplace. Now, free student meals will only be available for pickup at 2 locations. The school made that announcement via Facebook and wanted to reassure parents that the high school where the employee worked has been deeply sanitized out of caution. All of the school's child nutrition staff, bus driver staff, and volunteers will self-quarantine for 14 days. Meals can be picked up at the Lytle primary and elementary bus pickup drop-off area. In national news, 1,000 medical experts are expected to deploy to New York, thanks to the federal government.
Also, thousands of much-needed supplies are arriving there today. ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi has the details from one of the hardest-hit areas in the country.
This morning, desperately needed protective gear is arriving in the U.S. on 3 planes, part of an effort by the White House and other countries called Project Airbridge. On board, nearly 3 million N95 masks and surgical masks, more than 11 million gloves, along with gowns and other supplies. New York's governor says the state is in grave need of equipment despite reinforcements from around the world.
I understand what they're dealing with. I understand they're being asked to do the impossible.
Near Los Angeles, Darren Loyson, an ER nurse, is finally home, but is still on oxygen after being hospitalized with the virus for 9 days.
I remember one night just laying in bed going, man, I mean, I felt like I can actually die, and I could barely breathe, and I didn't want to be on a ventilator. I refused the ventilator twice.
I quit my job today.
Imaris Vera joins a list of healthcare workers who've quit, calling the risk too great. Vera says she walked away from her job in Chicago to protect her family.
I'd rather be without pay for a couple weeks and have to look for another job than possibly lose my life or my family members.
Near Orlando, Florida, nurse Kyle McBride has been living separately from his wife and 4 kids for weeks already.
We all need to lock arms and join as a community and be united.
And in Minnesota, Leona Hernandez is leaving her husband and 3 young children for 2 months to travel to New York to help hospital workers there.
We talked about, should I just stay here and wait until the need is greater in Minnesota? But one thing that I think pushed me over the edge is the fact that the need is so great in New York.
We call her she's the superhero. And they're like, she's not a real superhero, Dad. And I'm like, yes, she is. She's a super nurse.
Mona Kozar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And as always, we have more coronavirus coverage on our website, which includes grocery store policy changes, how to make your own mask, and more. Just go to KSAT.com.
Spurs star Tim Duncan is a first ballot inductee into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. The 5-time NBA champion and one of 9 to get the call to the Hall, including the late Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett. Duncan, who helped the Spurs win 5 NBA championships, is the best power forward to ever play the game. Duncan was also 3-time NBA Finals MVP and a 2-time NBA MVP to go along with his 15 All-Star appearances, the 3rd most in NBA history, all while playing for 1 team and 1 head coach, Greg Popovich. He will be inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame on August 29th. Let's hope that we can actually be there to see that induction things have calmed down enough to where that event could actually
We're
happen.
all looking forward to normalcy.
For Tim. So Tim, David, and the Iceman.
That's awesome.
Great stuff.
Deserved, absolutely.
612, 63 degrees.
Making sure the food you have at home lasts during the pandemic. Still ahead, what to expect as people across the country continue to stock up.
And taking a look at the Queen of Tejano's ties to the Alamo City. Coming up next, a sneak peek of the Siempre Selena special, airing later on this week.
And live cam giving us a look outside. Mixed bag weather-wise for the week. Mike will have details and sort it all out.
And welcome back. It is 6:16. This week, we are honoring the Queen of Tejano music, Selena.
Her legacy has continued to grow throughout the years, and her music has stood the test of time.
This Sunday, we are airing one of our hour specials called Siempre Selena. We take a look at her ties to San Antonio, speak to those who knew her best, and share some rare photos you may have never seen before.
Siempre Selena airs this Sunday at 9 p.m. For more on Selena's life and legacy, head on over to KSAT.com/Selena. And Netflix's #1 true crime docuseries Tiger King may be getting another episode. Jeff Lowe, the current owner of Joe Exotic's Oklahoma Zoo, says Netflix is shooting an additional episode. Lowe says it will drop this week, but Netflix has not confirmed that.
It's 6:17. Traffic, not bad.
See. Marcus, any accidents to report?
Well, we actually do have one major accident, but it's a one-vehicle accident. So you see all those construction barrels? Nope, that accident's not near any of the construction barrels. We're actually going to go up 281, just north of 410, right as you're making that turn before you hit the straightaway towards 1604. Right there, the entrance ramp from San Pedro to northbound 281 in that area. That's where we have a one-vehicle major accident. Now, we do have officers out there, so hopefully we'll get it cleared up pretty quick. And then also have this one here, I-10 at 410. This is on the east side. As you see, we have that one vehicle with the hazard lights on the access road. So just watch out for those things. Remember, when you see the flashing lights, you must slow down 20 miles an hour below the speed limit or vacate to the next available lane. Mike?
Thank you very much, sir. And look at this rain gauge. This was up there in Sabinal, and about 2.5 inches of rain in their front yard. And I know a lot of folks, David said he had 2 wheelbarrows full, which is not an official rain gauge, but yeah, it was coming down, picked up just over 2 inches officially out there at the airport, which for the month, and this was Thursday, Friday, picked up more than about 2 2/3 inches. So we're about 2 1/3 inches above just for the month of April already. Going back to March, we're now 1.5 inches above normal, and we made up all of the negative numbers going back even in toward January 1st. So we've had just over 7 inches of rain officially out there at the airport, and that's almost 1 inch above normal, but especially from March. Now that makes a whole bunch of difference there, and we're 1.5 inches above normal. So that is fantastic news, and there's more on the way this week. Now we've got really nothing going on as of right now out there by the airport. Visibility is still pretty good. It dropped down a little bit over there in Kerrville, 4 miles in New Braunfels, 9 at the airport, 1.75 miles at Rock Springs, 2 at Eagle Pass. And those are the only areas, or the areas with the lowest visibility as of right now. We'll keep monitoring things throughout the morning. I had a lot more rain earlier this morning, or I should say just relative to what's out there right now. Just a couple of scattered sprinkles in our northern counties. Nothing really showing up in and around town, and that's about it. We'll have a couple of showers scattered about the area throughout the day. Temperatures are anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above normal right now, and the humidity is also back up. Of course, the dew points dropped down in behind that front over the weekend, but now the humidity has come back in, and it's going to continue to come back in here with dew points getting into the mid-upper 60s. So you'll definitely notice the humidity by later on today, as well as tomorrow and Wednesday. And with that very high humidity, dew points upper 60s, even low 70s. The atmosphere is going to be more unstable and kind of volatile on Wednesday. So I think any thunderstorms that do pop up, there is the potential there that they could be on the strong to nothing severe as of right now, but just on the stronger side, some of those thunderstorms on Wednesday. Today, we'll just have scattered rain around the area, and that'll be the situation even into this afternoon, as well as going into tonight. Pretty much the same thing tomorrow. Then we get into Wednesday, and that's when, like I said, we have that chance for a couple of stronger thunderstorms. 70 today at noon, couple of showers out there, 1 or 2 showers later on this afternoon, 75 for a high temperature, which is actually just a couple of degrees below normal. And then tomorrow, add 10 to that. going to be hot. It's going to be steamy tomorrow. Same thing on Wednesday, and we have a chance for some of those stronger thunderstorms later in the day on Wednesday. Still a couple of showers and storms Thursday. We'll drop down a little bit, and then the next front moves on through here. And look what that's doing to temperatures. Knock us down to the low 70s then for Good Friday, and we'll stay in the 70s over Easter weekend.
All right, sounds good.
So I think the rain gauge said right around 4 inches. So, but I had to
Out at your place?
Yeah, but I had to dump the wheelbarrow a couple of times because I had to use it.
Well, of course.
Well, you don't want to know why.
Sure I do.
You want to know why I use the
Yeah,
wheelbarrow?
why did you have to use the wheelbarrow?
Manure removal.
Okay.
Well, I'm better at your house than mine.
Being a horse owner,
Well, because
it's just one of those tasks.
The horses don't wander far from the shed when it's raining and thunder and lightning. So, you get the wheelbarrow out.
Got to keep things clean.
Little scoop
I get it.
And do a little work.
Wow.
There you go. You were shoveling manure.
Mm-hmm.
What I spent my weekend doing.
That does stink.
I tell you, it does. 621 and 63 degrees.
Preparing for what is suspected to be the worst week in the pandemic thus far. Up next, how to make the food you already have in the house last.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a hot dog or kolache. We are Circle K.
Frustrated that clean clothes you want to wear always seem to need an iron? Next time, try Bounce Wrinkle Guard dryer sheets. Just toss it in the dryer to bounce out wrinkles. We dried these shorts with Bounce Wrinkle Guard and a pair without. The Bounce Wrinkle Guard shorts have fewer wrinkles and static and more softness. It's the world's first mega sheet that does the job of 3 dryer sheets. It also comes in unscented. If you don't love Bounce Wrinkle Guard, we'll give you your money back.
Feel the clarity of new, non-drowsy Claritin Cool Mint Chewables. The only allergy product with relief of your worst symptoms, including itchy throat, plus an immediate blast of cooling sensation. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
In these uncertain times, it has never been more important to maintain a clean home. At Stanley Steamer, we've added a new cleaning spray that disinfects hard surfaces and deep cleans carpet and upholstery. We believe in doing things the right way. That's why we've been your trusted partner in clean for over 70 years.
In this morning's GMA First Look, extending the shelf life of your groceries.
All the different dates by, those are all related to the food's quality and not its safety.
Experts like Consumer Reports' Amy Keating say now is the time to utilize our freezers. Keating helps us break down a few popular items. First up, eggs.
The date on the egg carton is not a live and die date. You don't need to throw the eggs out if it's past that date.
Keating says eggs will last in your fridge for 3 to 5 weeks after you purchase them. But if you aren't going to finish that carton in time, you can beat and freeze them in an airtight container for about a year. And what about those expiration and best by dates? When do we need to listen to them, and when is there some wiggle room? We'll have the answers you need and a great app to help you. It's coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland.
Did you know that? You could beat the eggs and then put them in a airtight and freeze them for a year?
For a year? I didn't know that. It's a good thing. It's a good tip.
Yeah.
Right? If you can find eggs. 626 and 63 degrees outside.
That's the problem, finding them. Preparing for what health officials are calling a pivotal week in the coronavirus pandemic. Still ahead, the warning it has for all Americans.
And filing for unemployment just got a little easier. The next half hour of GMSA, how the Texas governor stepped in to speed things up.
And taking a live look out with the roads and trans guy. We've had a couple of accidents this morning. Officer Trujillo will give us a detailed look at what's going on right now. Coming up next.
This weekend, we saw a rise in confirmed cases of the coronavirus around the world and here in Bexar County. I'm Max Massey. I'm going to take a closer look at those numbers and what you should know to start your week.
Police say a couple's dispute has led to violence, a shooting, but they say neither one of them pulled the trigger. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you all about it.
And still to come, health experts say that this could be a defining week in the fight against coronavirus, while the president takes a more optimistic tone. I'm Andrew Dimber in the nation's capital with the latest on the fight against the coronavirus.
And here is a live look outside with live cam. A little foggy this morning. Maybe some wet air along with that fog.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Monday. It's April the 6th. It was nice to see all that rain. He got 2 barrels full at his house.
Wheelbarrows, yeah.
Yeah, wheelbarrows, I guess I should say that.
It's close.
And roads, how are the roads looking? I'm assuming it's pretty quiet out there right now.
Well, you would expect it to be quiet, but we do have a couple of accidents, and both of them on 281. So not causing huge traffic delays because we just don't have the large volume of traffic right now.
Okay. Well, and it's fairly dry out there on the roads right now. So we kind of dried out a little bit yesterday afternoon with some of that sunshine out there. Excuse me. But we will continue to see at least the chance for a couple of showers the next few days. And I think rain chances may peak by the middle part of the week. So 410 looks pretty good. No visibility problems right now. We've had a few and still have a couple of sprinkles out there in portions of the hill country. That's about it. This is just some clutter around the radar site right there. So maybe a little bit of a speck of rain going in on the far west side of town. Visibility out by Bernie, 5 miles, 3 Kerrville. Elsewhere, it's not bad. 4 New Braunfels, and it has come up somewhat in Rock Springs, but a little bit of fog out there to the west. We've got all this moisture in the ground, obviously, and so that's what's helping out with some of this fog. 63 in town, same thing. Randolph, 64 New Braunfels. We're about 5-10 degrees above normal on average. A ton of mold out there. Rain washed everything else out of the atmosphere, but mold's probably going to be sticking around on the higher side for the next few days, given the fact we do have more rain in the forecast. So a couple of patches of fog this morning, 1 or 2 little sprinkly showers. Mostly cloudy skies, primarily cloudy skies, a peak or 2 of sunshine here, and a few showers are going to be in the mid-70s today. Tomorrow, we do start to heat up. 1 or 2 showers are possible. I don't think great rain chances, but we're going to be mid and even some upper 80s and even warmer, and the humidity is really going to start to go up as well. You'll definitely feel it the next couple of days. A few storms on Wednesday. Some could be on the stronger side. Then shower, thunderstorm to finish off the week. And there's another front moving on through here. It's not as strong as the one that moved through last week, but it will knock temperatures down. So it'll be something nice to see. Details on the Easter weekend forecast coming up. Time saver traffic once again. So you said that accident is 281.
We have 2 on 281. Okay. So the first one we're going to get to, that one is a major accident over there by the airport. We're looking at northbound main lanes of 281, right there where it joins up with San Pedro, then continues on north. The second accident is actually southbound 281, right there, Sonterra Boulevard. So right before you get to 1604. Minor accidents. So both these accidents should be cleared up fairly quickly, considering that we just don't have a lot of traffic out there right now. Take a look at TransGuide. I-10 Fortune over on the east side. We still have that stalled vehicle there on the access road of eastbound or 410, just outside, eastbound I-10 rather, just outside 410. Just remember, when you see the flashing light, slow down 20 miles an hour below the speed limit or vacate to the next available lane. Leslie?
Thank you, Marcus. San Antonio police have arrested a woman who they say used a gun to get in the middle of a couple's dispute. She's accused of shooting a man. All of this happening at an apartment complex parking lot in the 1300 block of Brigsby Avenue. Katrina Weber joins us now with more on this. What kind of charges does she face, Katrina?
Well, according to what police have told us, it looks like aggravated assault. They say that the man was shot twice, once in his arm and his leg. It happened here at the Rosemont at Highland Park Apartments. Police still here behind the gates working. They've been here since about 4 o'clock this morning. Police say that the 30-year-old man showed up here at these apartments, got into it with his girlfriend in the parking lot. The police say at some point one of her relatives came out of an apartment with a gun, shot the man in his arm and leg. He was in serious condition when he was taken to a hospital. Officers did arrest his girlfriend's relative, a woman in her 50s. As police put it, she is the only person under arrest right now. They say they did find a second gun here at the scene, and they're trying to figure out who owns that gun. They also have been talking to several people who they say were here when the shooting happened. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Confirmed cases of the coronavirus are rising across Bexar County. As of this morning, we now have 410 confirmed cases. San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg talked about the case numbers in a briefing yesterday. So Max Massey now joins us live from downtown. So Max, what else did the mayor try to convey to the public yesterday in his meeting?
Well, the mayor talked about a lot of public safety, important messages, one of which telling the public, reiterating what the CDC is saying, that if you are out in public, that you should put a cloth or a mask over your face, stop the spread of the coronavirus. Important to mention, though, the CDC says that these masks are not a substitute for social distancing. The only reason I don't have it on right now is because we are in an isolated parking lot, not near anyone, but if we are out and about reporting later, I will be using it. So let's take a look at those numbers that David said earlier. 410 confirmed cases here in Bexar County. This is what the breakdown looks like. Of those 410, 110 are travel related, 137 are close contact, 127 are community transmitted, 36 are still under investigation. Important to mention, though, 67 people have fully recovered, but we have the good, we also have the bad. 79 people are currently hospitalized, 47 are in the ICU, 28 of them are on ventilators. Now, also important to mention, we talked about the numbers of ages. Well, 110 of those confirmed cases are people under the age of 40 years old. We also reported our 12th death this weekend related to COVID-19. Now, we know 410 here in Bexar County, but we also know thousands of people across the Lone Star State have tested positive for COVID-19. We expect to hear from Governor Greg Abbott at 2 o'clock today, and we're going to be streaming that live on KSAT and KSAT.com. David, Leslie.
Thank you, Max. Health officials are warning Americans to brace for a pivotal week in the coronavirus pandemic after over 1.5 million have tested for COVID-19.
The national crisis has even been compared to that of Pearl Harbor and 9/11. ABC's Andrew Dimbert shares the latest as the death toll continues to rise.
As the number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. continues to skyrocket, a warning from top health officials that the worst is yet to come.
The next week is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment. It's going to be our 9/11 moment. It's going to be the hardest moment for many Americans in their entire lives.
But President Trump with a different assessment for Americans, tempering the grim forecast with a more optimistic outlook on the outbreak.
But we see light at the end of the tunnel. Things are happening.
It's a message at odds with lead medical professionals working to flatten the coronavirus curve.
It seems to be inherently contradictory, but it really isn't. What you're hearing about potential light at the end of the tunnel doesn't take away from the fact that tomorrow, the next day, it's going to look really bad.
New York, the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak, is still struggling for supplies. But a bit of good news over the weekend. The state had its first daily drop in the number of coronavirus deaths.
I guarantee the people of this state that as long as I'm governor of this state, we won't lose a life if we can prevent it.
Still, struggles continue for hospitals across the country, stressed and stretched to new limits on the front lines. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer says Detroit is seeing a surge and facilities are in for a fight.
We know that we've got hospitals that are already at capacity. We don't have enough personal protection equipment.
And in Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards says his state might not even have enough ventilators or hospital beds to last another week. And President Trump insisting over the weekend that more masks and ventilators are on the way. Also saying by Tuesday, the federal government will have deployed 3,000 military and medical professionals to some of the hardest hit states. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Metro health officials say people in our city no longer need a physician's note to get tested for COVID-19. The change comes to make testing more accessible. Anyone who is showing symptoms of the virus can be tested. Some symptoms include a fever of over 100 degrees, cough, and shortness of breath. Right now, there is a drive-through testing site at Freeman Coliseum.
And the coronavirus pandemic has devastated the oil industry in the United States. In the first quarter, the price of oil fell 66%. It's around $20 a barrel. It's the hardest fall at any point in history. Cheaper oil prices are carrying a negative economic consequences, particularly in states that have become more dependent on oil.
Meanwhile, Texas is seeing one of the largest increases in unemployment. According to WalletHub, Texas ranked 34th out of 51 for unemployment rates. Governor Greg Abbott has issued certain orders to help speed up the unemployment process, like waiving the 10-day waiting period tied to benefits, along with the work search requirement. If you live in the area, you are urged to call Workforce Solutions Alamo. The number is on your screen. It is 210-224-HELP.
We are 20 minutes away from 7 o'clock. It's 6:40 and 63 degrees.
Parents potentially being the key to helping kids become better readers. That story is coming up on GMSA. Welcome back at 6:43. Illiteracy is a problem that affects both children and adults in the United States. According to the Literacy Project, about 45 million Americans can't read above a 5th grade level.
So here's an explanation on how you can break the cycle when it comes to your kids.
He preferred her to relieve himself in the
Researchers from Denmark studied more than 1,500 children between the ages of 8 and 9. The parents of half of the students received 4 books the kids could read and materials on how to help their children discuss what they've read. The strategies encouraged a growth mindset. That means the parents were encouraged to praise the child's effort rather than their performance. Turns out the 2-month experiments improved their reading age by an average of 4 months compared to the children whose parents did not receive the materials. Those who saw the biggest changes were kids whose parents had underestimated their ability to read better. These children improved by an average of 6 months.
Researchers found the rate of reading improvement tapered off about 7 months after the experiment began, suggesting that support may need to be strengthened to keep up the results. Researchers want to test whether these types of parent involvement strategies can also improve math skills. David Sears, KSAT 12 News.
And we do still have these 2 accidents in the clearing stages. We have this major accident northbound 281 just outside 410 right there where it curves, meeting up with San Pedro, continuing on northbound past the airport. Second accident southbound 281 there at Sonterra. So keep that in mind. When you see those flashing lights, make sure you move over or slow down 20 miles or below the speed limit. Now, I-10, 410 over on the east side. Looking back eastbound, we still have that stalled vehicle there. Moving over 10 at the Dominion, things are getting just a little bit busier, both in the eastbound and the westbound lanes. And Mike, it looks like maybe a little bit of that fog is showing up out there.
Yeah, we've got just hints of it around the area. Nothing too awfully thick, but of course with some of the fog watch out, it could make the roads sort of damp. Love this picture. Gryffindor and Gertrude. Just kind of passing the time, just kind of sitting there and shooting the breeze. Thank you for the sound effects, David. Appreciate that. Leslie, you have to bark like the dog then, and if he's going to move like the cows. Thank you. Okay. What the now they're fighting. Okay. Enough. Good God, I've got a barnyard around here. Anyway. Quarantine's getting to them. We've got just a little bit of fog, as you saw in that one picture over toward Bernie, about 5 miles visibility, so just hints of it around. And it's about 1.25 miles Rock Springs, 2.5 at Eagle Pass. That's the thickest or the lowest visibility as of right now. So we're not looking at anything overly thick. Just kind of watch out for it, especially in low-lying areas if you do have to head out this morning. Just a few light sprinkly showers around the area. Nothing is showing up in and around town right now. There may be 1 or 2 little specks here and there, maybe some mist as well. Temperatures are about 7-10 degrees above normal, and we've got a lot more humidity out there, and humidity is going to be going up throughout the day, so you will definitely notice it. It's not going to be overly warm today. It will be about 75 degrees. But this humidity will continue to pump on in here throughout the day tomorrow, as well as on into Wednesday. And tomorrow and Wednesday is when things really start to heat up. So it's going to be hot and humid out there. A couple of scattered showers around today. I don't think rain's going to be a big deal today. Just, 1 or 2 of them may be popping up here and there. And then we'll have a couple of more showers scattered about the area, perhaps tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, that's when we start to see the better chance for some rain. Now, we're going to continue to keep this pattern around here. The flow of moisture coming in from the Pacific Ocean right across Mexico, and that's why, even when we had the front move through late last week, we still had all the clouds and all the rain because of the moisture being pumped on in here aloft in the atmosphere. So this situation is really not going to be changing that much throughout the rest of the week. So we keep a lot of clouds around, a little bit of sunshine thrown in here and there, and some of those rain chances like today. A couple of showers scattered about, basically cloudy skies. A few breaks here and there with some sunshine, 70 at noon and 75 for a high temperature today. Then tomorrow, add about 10 to that. So we get up to 85 degrees, more humidity. It's going to be hot and it's going to be humid and even hotter on Wednesday. And that's when we're going to be seeing, a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be on the strong side. With all that humidity, it's going to make the atmosphere a little bit more on the volatile side. So we'll have to kind of watch out for that on Wednesday. And then we drop down a little bit Thursday. Next front moves on through here. Yep, another cool front. Not as strong as the one last week.
That's all right. We'll take it.
Hey, low 70s. Get rid of some of that humidity, too.
Good job.
Is your bark worse than your bite?
Probably.
Okay. Is it?
What?
You know her.
I didn't say anything.
All right.
It's only Monday, folks. We'll be here the rest of the week.
Here all week. 648, 63 degrees.
Losing sleep over your finances, you are not alone. Tomorrow on GMS 8-6, find out what your financial stress could be doing to your kids' health.
And back outside with live cam. That was a pretty good bark, though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up here on GMA, we are tracking all the latest on the coronavirus developments, and that includes our hospitals just days away from reaching capacity. This morning, we are taking you inside one of those hospitals here in New York to see what it is really like. Doctors and nurses push to their limit while other cities and states around the country are bracing for a surge in cases. That is all coming up right here on GMA.
San Antonio police have arrested a woman who they say intervened in a couple's argument with a gun. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. They say that suspect, a woman in her 50s, is a relative of the woman who was involved in that argument. The police got the call around 4 o'clock this morning. They arrested that relative right at the scene. They say a 30-year-old man had showed up at the Rosemont at Highland Avenue apartments on Rigsby Avenue and began arguing with his girlfriend in the parking lot. At some point, police say one of her relatives, a woman in her 50s, came outside with a gun and shot the man. He was hit in his arm and leg and was in serious condition when he went to a hospital. Police say they did find a second gun here at the scene, and they're trying to figure out who owns that gun. They have been talking to several other people who were here at the time of the shooting. Reporting from the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
As of this morning, Bexar County now has 410 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, and we now officially have our 12th death related to COVID-19. I'm Max Massey, the mayor, releasing these numbers just yesterday, telling us that the latest death was a man in his 60s with underlying health conditions. Let's take a closer look at those numbers. 410 confirmed cases, 110 are travel related, 137 close contact, 127 community transmitted, 36 of which are still under investigation. Also important to note, 67 people have fully recovered, but there are still 79 hospitalized right now, 47 in the ICU, 28 are still on ventilators. Now, 110 of the confirmed cases are people under the age of 40 years old, and 20 more patients recovered since Saturday. The mayor also reiterating what the CDC is saying, that if you are out and about in public, make sure to cover your face with cloth or a face mask. But also important to mention that this is not a replacement for social distancing. We are in an isolated parking lot right now. That is why it is not on. But if we are out and about today later reporting, I will be using this. Now, the governor is expected to speak today at 2 o'clock, and we will be live streaming that on KSAT and KSAT.com. Reporting downtown, Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
All right, a couple of accidents this morning on 281. Bad spots, huh?
I know. I guess maybe some portions are still a little bit wet from the showers over the weekend.
Anything's possible. Right now, as we take a look at those two accidents, northbound 281, right as you're passing right there by the airport, joins up with San Pedro. That's where we have that first major accident. Then the minor accident, southbound 281 at Sonterra Boulevard. That's in the clearing stages. Take a look outside through TransGuide. You can see not too bad there, 410 at 35, and moving over to I-10 Frio, inbound, outbound lanes looking pretty good. Mike?
Thank you, sir. And we haven't seen much fog around the city, the metropolitan area. As you can see, the picture's pretty good over there by the airport. A few sprinkly showers out in northern portions of the hill country. We'll see 1 or 2 showers around today. Rock Springs has the lowest visibility right now at just 1.25 miles and 8 out there at the airport. Temperatures are about 5-10 degrees above normal, and the humidity is starting to come back in, and you'll definitely notice the humidity later on today. A few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, 75 degrees, about the same situation tomorrow, but it's going to be much hotter, much more humid, and going into Wednesday, a few strong storms are possible on Wednesday, and then we'll still keep some rain around. Probably the best chances of rain are Wednesday, Thursday. Another front comes through here, and that's going to put us into the low 70s by Friday, and Easter Sunday, I think, looks pretty nice.
All right. Sounds good.
So that humidity could fire up some good storms, huh?
Yeah, I think they're going to be on a few more on Wednesday.
Hey, thanks for being with us, everybody.
We'll see you back here at 9. Good Morning America is next.